Europeans living with us here. So, we've got a tremendous job to do this year as we're opening up 4 new countries in Europe. So it's exciting times.
Well, thank you for sharing that. We're glad that you're here, Scott, with us. We're very excited about what's going on over in Europe and opening up the rest of the world, actually, here with Immunotech and helping people. So we're going to have some great information shared here by Foster Owusu, along with Patricia Karalash and Aveline. Where did Aveline go? Okay, Aveline. Okay, Aveline's there. So good morning, Aveline. Glad to have you here. So we've got people joining, and we'll be doing that. My name is Keith Hooper. I'm here in Central California. I was thinking about it today. Dr. Cellini would talk about it years ago. I had a conversation with Dr. Bunos, and there was the study on the fact that the animals were living 30% longer and so forth. And I said, that's great, Dr. Bunos. When are we going to have the human studies? And he laughed on the phone with me, and he said, Keith, human studies, longevity studies in human take 50 years. Do you really want to wait for the research? So I'm part of what is an open study. I'm using the product, so I'll give you all a report on that after I've been using Immunocal for 50 years. So it's great to be here with this. So halfway through the study, and just to give you a little insight, it works. Okay. so far the results are looking extremely promising. So with that longevity, so we're glad to have all of you here on this Saturday. You're going to be hearing some great information today. We've got about 2 minutes till we get started here. Glad to have you all. Foster's going to be heading up the first part of this call. Here, Mr. Solider and I will be sharing a little bit of information with you as we get started. One of the things you're going to want to write down is xyztools.com, xyztools.com. There's some links over there that you're going to want to take advantage of. I'm going to be sharing some information with you on today's call as well. And this recording will be up there. This call is being recorded, and afterwards it will be edited, and the edited version of it will be up on XYZ Tools, and it'll be there on the homepage. So you're going to want to take advantage of that and share it with your family and friends as well. So glad to have you all here with us on this Saturday. We have a number of people that are coming on here, so we're glad to have you joining us. So, all right, we've got about 1 minute till the top of the hour. See Mr. Solider's there diligently finishing up some last notes and texts out to some people. So
I'm working.
That's what I said. Take a picture of it.
I know. Okay. That doesn't happen often, but I do work once in a while.
There we go. So by the way, John's part of that same experiment that I am. Okay, as well as Foster and a number of others have been using this Immunocal for over 20 years. So as I said, that study, longevity studies in human, takes 50 years, and we're partway through that. I'm 25 years through that, halfway through the study, and what we can tell so far is not only do the results look promising, they are outstanding. So anyway, John, we've got, it is 11 o'clock. It's here in the real world. So I guess it's time to appreciate everybody's time that's here and to get started.
Absolutely. Well, welcome everybody. I see people in Canada, the United States, Mexico, Colombia, the United Kingdom, and the beautiful Republic of Ireland that have joined us so far. So if I missed any country that you're in, just let us know in the chat, and we'll certainly welcome your market as well. So, hey, I'm going to take the opportunity to turn the call over to my colleague, my good friend, my co-author of our last book, Leave Nothing to Chance, Mr. Foster Owusu, and he's going to take us through how the Immunotech business works. He's got 2 tremendous ladies with him that are going to aid him in doing so. So I will turn the call to Foster. Welcome, Foster.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Keith. I'm excited about this afternoon. As a matter of fact, when it was morning in California, it was still afternoon here in the East Coast of Canada. To our guests, we just want to welcome you to this important call. We are going to share stuff with you slides-wise, but we thought it would be important to share a little bit about our flagship product, Immunocal, and its benefits. We're not going to get into detailed stuff, but please watch the first video, and we'll be back with you and share with you the rest of the presentation. Take notes if you need to, but this should be fun. Let me start with this very first slide.
As we go about our hectic daily lives, our bodies are affected by harmful factors such as stress and insomnia, lack of exercise, pollutants from the air we breathe, poor nutrition from the food we eat, and the inevitable effects of aging. Over 40 years ago, a pivotal breakthrough in our understanding of immune system function provided a way for us to maintain a strong immune system. A strong immune system improves our body's ability to defend itself from harm. Working together, Drs. Gustavo Bonus and Patricia Kongshaven discovered the role of a specially prepared whey protein isolate in raising a molecule in your body called glutathione. Glutathione, known as the body's master antioxidant, is critical for healthy immune function. This discovery led to the development of Immunotech's signature products, Immunocal and Immunocal Platinum, an enhanced formula which resulted from the work of Dr. Wolf Droge. Both are the most important supplements you will ever use. Both help your body raise glutathione, and simply put, the higher your glutathione levels are, the healthier you will be.
The immune system is incredibly complex, but one of the things that is well established is that the immune system cannot function well without the presence of glutathione.
Aging, poor diet, health challenges, lack of exercise, stress, inadequate sleep, all lower glutathione in the body. Unfortunately, eating a glutathione supplement doesn't work because glutathione is broken down in the digestive system. To raise glutathione, you need to provide building blocks or precursors so that your cells can make it for you. Precursors come from the foods we eat, but one that's in very limited supply is cysteine. The challenge is that when basic cysteine enters your body, it usually does not make it to your cells. Unlike basic cysteine powders or supplements, only Immunocal has bonded cysteine. Cysteine that's bonded is surrounded by a shell of protein that protects it until it can be absorbed by your cells. Once absorbed, cysteine allows your body to raise glutathione, and that helps ensure a healthier you.
Soon, you will be using the word glutathione as commonly as you use a word like antioxidant.
Immunocal received global recognition through patents issued in countries around the world, with 48 studies published by doctors and scientists working in top global institutions, work that continues today and will continue into the future. Notably, Immunocal also earned a place in Canada's Compendium of Pharmaceuticals and Specialties and the United States' Physician's Desk Reference, two well-respected medical resources that doctors and pharmacists trust, and was granted a natural product number and approval to make certain claims by Health Canada.
Quite simply put, your health depends on your immune system. And glutathione is literally food for your immune system.
While Immunocal is a product that people of all ages can benefit from, Platinum's advanced formula makes it a superior choice for all ages and lifestyles, and the ideal supplement for athletes and seniors. Immunocal has powered elite professional and amateur athletes worldwide, including multiple Olympians, gold, silver, and bronze medalists. Immunocal and Immunocal Platinum help maintain your immune system, build antibodies, and improve muscle strength and physical performance when combined with regular exercise. Dissolved in juice or mixed with yogurt or applesauce, 1 to 2 pouches of Immunocal or Platinum per day delivers the full spectrum of benefits. You can think of Immunocal and Immunocal Platinum as food for your immune system, helping you and your family live healthier lives. Immunotech, the science of living better.
Well, so this gives you a quick overview on the product Immunocal. And of course, as you heard, this is a product that is ideal for all ages. John Solider is going to introduce a lady who has been using this product for quite some time now. And she's going to share her story, and we'll come back to this. Back to you, John.
Thank you, Foster. And my first guest, besides Foster, is Aveline. Aveline is up in beautiful Edmonton.
Actually, we'll go to Patricia first, and then.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Patricia, I want to share a quick story, if you don't mind.
All right, Patricia, where are you? Patricia's also in beautiful Canada, where they still have snow. And Patricia, you want to share a little bit about your background?
Yeah, I sure do. Thank you and welcome everybody. I've been using Immunocal for 5 years, but I got results in a month and a half for something that was very, very serious for me. And as a result, now I am not on oxygen. I am not ever going to be on oxygen, but I would have been. So I was a registered nurse working for 33 years. 30 of those years were at 2 university teaching hospitals. And I worked in all the intensive cares, ICU, CCU, PICU, NICU. I loved that high level of intensity. And then I worked part-time with the MRI, so I can see people from the inside out, and CT. And I also worked pediatrics full-time for 12 years. Then I worked with the adults. So I had the whole range of age and a whole range of conditions and illnesses and things like that. Then I became sick. I couldn't walk across this room. I couldn't walk out to my driveway. I discovered after seeing 2 doctors, because I didn't believe the first one, an allergy specialist who tested me, and I was allergic to almost everything of the 103 scratch tests that I had. I was allergic to everything that was surrounding me. Grass, flowers, animals, trees, cats, dogs. It was unbelievable to me. So I went to the second doctor, who also did the same breathing test. Here, breathe into this. Let's see what your lungs can do. And at both places, because there's no doubting this anymore, I only had the lung capacity at 45%. And I should have been 96 to 100%. So I was breathing with less than half lungs. Not good. So I got put on 2 inhalers and steroids, prednisone. And for about 1.5 years, I lived like that, and it was not good. It didn't improve very much, but at least it probably gave me relief from the pain in my lungs, in just trying to get enough air in whatever was working in my lungs to get enough oxygen to make it across the room or outside to the driveway. So as a result, big life changes. My neighbors didn't see me for 2 years. I didn't walk my dogs for 2 years. I just went out and sat on the steps and watched them. And so when my friend told me about Immunocal, this stuff from at that time Quebec, I said, whatever, it doesn't matter, just get it to me. And she did. And I am forever grateful, because I went on it immediately. I knew that whatever she recommended was going to work as well for me as it did for her. And so in 1.5 months, all my allergies went away. I was back out walking 2 miles in the morning, 2 miles at night. I could run, and I hadn't run for over 2 years. And I thought, okay, I'm a nurse. I've got this background, the science background. I can think clearly now. I've got oxygen to the brain. I better find out a little bit more about this stuff because people are asking me about it. So I did, discovered that it's in the Canada's Doctor's Drug Catalog, CPS, Compendium of Pharmaceuticals and Specialties, and the Doctor's Drug Book in the United States, PDR, Physician's Desktop Reference. And then 40 some years of studies. Oh my gosh, it had the science background that I could solidly stand behind and solidly recommend. It was a godsend, and here I am. I'm doing more, way more than other people my age who are not on raising their glutathione levels, and I'm just thrilled. So I'm so happy to be here. Back to you, Foster.
Well, I'll hand it back to John. That is powerful story. We're happy that you have actually seen great results. And John has another person that he would like to interview for this segment. Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you, Patricia. Before you go, one last quick question. Why is this such a great business, especially for women right now?
Oh, gosh. Because I can tell anybody about it to wherever they are, or their children, or their parents, whoever they're caretaking, wherever they are in life, these products will make your life not only good, but better and the best it's ever been. And you can recommend it to anybody at any time in their life.
And one other thing, I know you're an animal lover, and I heard your story with allergies, and I know now that you're able to deal with some of our four-legged friends that have hair. So how has that just enhanced your life? How has it just changed that you can be with the animals that you love so much?
Oh, absolutely. So I rescue animals, and even right now I'm surrounded by 3 of them. And no sneezing, right? No sneezing or blocking them off of the room. We can go out and in fact, because they're mammals, just like us human beings, I can give it to them also. So it's worked really, really well.
Great. Well, thank you, Patricia. And also in Western Canada, it's Western Canada Day, I think. Our good friend Aveline is up in beautiful Edmonton, Alberta. And Aveline, I guess the first question, has the snow finally left?
Yes, the snow has left, and I was actually putting soil in my raised garden bed all morning.
Great.
So ready for almost ready for planting once the temperature warms up.
Okay. So I knew there was some snow out there about a week ago. So
well, we could be getting more this evening as well. So we're working in between that.
Oh boy. Well, let's hope not, right? It's springtime. Yeah. So Aveline, how long have you been in the network marketing industry?
Too long. Actually, 37 years off and on. Wow. I got started in 1984 when my family was very young. And since then I've worked full and part-time, full-time, where I can say that my only income was from multi-level marketing, I would say about 14 years. And the rest has been part-time.
Great.
Yeah.
And tell us about Immunotech. What have your results been?
My results, okay, as far as the product is concerned, that's why I got into, I wasn't looking for a business when I heard about Immunotech. I was looking for a product that would help me increase or strengthen my immune system, because I was coming to the age that my mother had been when she had developed, was diagnosed with her breast cancer. And after visiting with the doctor at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, where she had her surgery, he looked at me and he said, "You've got 2 sisters, there's 3 of you. he says, 2 of yous are going to get breast cancer.
Mm.
So I was the oldest of my sisters. I was very concerned. So that's when I heard about Immunical. In fact, Dawn told me about Immunical and this product that strengthens the immune system. And I started immediately. And actually, very similar to Patricia, I did not have the allergies Patricia had. I was not sick like that, but I had a severe sinus problem where I was irrigating 2 and 3 times a day. And actually, within about a month and a half, that cleared up. And right after I got on the product, I was on an airplane to Dallas to visit one of my children. And every time I flew, I had to take antihistamines before I got on the plane, because otherwise I was just horrible, horrible pain when the plane's descending and your ears are busting. And I was only on Immunical for 5 days at the time, and I did not have any problems that trip. So yeah, and actually it just helped because, and this is what a lot of people, when we talk to people, we should talk, a lot of times we don't know that we're sick. And we're seeing this with COVID now, because a lot of people are getting sick, not even knowing that they had pre-existing conditions. And I had a pre-existing condition that I was born with, a hole in my heart.
Mm.
Didn't know. I mean, when I was pregnant with my children, I used to fall on the street walking. I think people thought I was drunk, but I would just fall. And no one ever put a finger on it as to exactly what it was. It wasn't until I started getting really tired, not sick, but extremely tired. And that makes sense because my heart wasn't pumping properly. So as it turned out, everything turned out well. They were within 3 months, I got in for surgery. They were able to fix this hole without doing open heart surgery. But what was very interesting was every doctor I saw, and I must have seen about 5 doctors in the period of about 5 months, they all said, we know that you're sick, but you look so good. Well, I'd been on Immunical at this time for about 2.5 years.
Mm.
So I know that made a real difference. And of course, as we age, you get the aches and pains. You get a little, like there's arthritis or whatever. I'm just happy. I'm not sitting in line like a lot of my friends waiting for hip and knee replacements. I'm walking every day. I'm doing Pilates. I'm gardening. Nothing physically has stopped me from living the way I want to live yet. So the resiliency is there, and that's because of the environmental factors that are created by the Immunical.
So you would probably agree that if a person only had money for one product for their health arsenal, it should be Immunical.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Yes.
And why should you build an Immunotech business?
Why should you build it? Well, because of the science. Okay, for someone looking for a business opportunity right now, there are so many things out there. I was in some of those businesses for 2-3 months at a time. They're fly by night, they're hype. Immunotech is not hype. Immunotech is a company that was started as a research company, okay? In 1975, it was Dr. Buno started the research. So it started with research. They developed the product. Then in 1996, they took it to market. So from then till now, that's a span of what, 47 years? Like, that's solid. That's rock bottom solid. That's not something where you know you're going to start and you're going to get a few distributors signed up, and then there's going to be no backup or there'll be no check coming in or whatever. Immunotech is solid. And because the company was built on a rock, it wasn't built on sand. We hear a lot about that in building an organization with multi-level marketing. You don't build on sand, you build on rock. And that's what Immunotech is. So it's science, it's not hype.
So last question for you, same question that I asked Patricia. Is this a good business? Is this a good business for women?
Yes, excellent. And you know what? when I started with the first company I was with back in '83, and I know, John, you were in that company too. My children were smaller. I was able to attend all their school functions. Whether you're a young woman or a middle-aged or an older woman, you can still build your life around your family if that's what you choose to do, contributing to the family income or a second stream of income. It gives you flexibility. I also find that women are more, and this is not in detriment to the male species, but I think we're a little bit more nurturing. And that's good from a business point of view. People like to see that you really care for them. And you can be involved with your family. And I mean, my kids used to help me deliver product because I was with a company where I made more money retailing product than I did on royalties. And so you can get your whole family involved, which I think is really good and gives people self-esteem.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Aveline. Let me point out one other thing. Okay. So we asked about women. Is this a good business internationally? Well, to give you an example, Aveline, as I said, lives in Edmonton, Alberta. That's Western Canada. For those of you in the US or other places in the world, that's way, way out on the West Coast of Canada. Okay. But her sponsor and friend, Don Hutchinson, lives in the south of Spain. They've known each other through business for many, many years, maintained a great friendship. And when Don found out about Immunocal from some guy named John Solider a number of years ago, Don contacted Aveline and shared the product with her, and you kind of heard the story. So once again, not only a great business for women, great business for men also, by the way, great business for couples, but also a great business if you want to build an international footprint. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much, Aveline and Patricia. Foster, I'll turn it back to you for your closing thoughts, and we'll move to our next speakers.
Well, John, we have heard, and this is just fabulous. I'm going to show another video. As a matter of fact, this part of the video is going to really cement what I call the reward aspect of the business side of things. And this is what we refer to as social selling. So naturally, when you hear something, you want to share with a friend, a neighbor, and that's what this segment is going to take us through. So bear with me. I'm going to share this very quickly, and we should get going. Here we go.
Whether you're here to learn more, or have just started using our products, or have been an Immunocal loyalist over the past 20 years, you're able to live even better and inspire people you care about to do the same. As you may already know, Immunotech is a trusted and highly respected leader in the wellness marketplace, providing quality nutritionals backed by 40 years of scientific research. With a flagship product that holds official government patents, this means you can use and share the family of products with confidence. Imagine, by recommending these products to people you know who would benefit from them, you could receive your personal favorites free or at deep discounts. Or imagine the opportunity to earn $350 or more per month, paid to you for simply sharing. All this without changing what you do every day through a natural activity called social selling. Social selling. It's super simple. You may not have thought about it, but we live in a referral society. If you hear from a friend about a must-see video, an outstanding restaurant, or a great sale happening online, you're probably more likely to act than if you saw an advertisement. Once you enjoy your new discovery, you can't wait to share your experience, not just with family and friends, but sometimes perfect strangers online by posting reviews. It happens every day. And think about it. When you share Immunotech products, you are having a positive impact by creating long-lasting benefits for the people whose lives you touch. But it's not just world-class products. Immunotech has developed an industry-leading compensation plan that rewards the efforts of the social seller, as well as the individual who shares the earning opportunity with others. Let's take a closer look at the benefits of sharing Immunotech as an independent consultant. By introducing Immunotech's products to others, you are naturally going to have people interested in trying the products for themselves. These individuals will become your customers. As an independent Immunotech consultant, you receive up to a 30% discount on all product purchases. When people buy Immunotech products, whether directly through you or on your replicated website, you earn a retail profit of up to 30%. For example, let's say your friend Sarah orders a box of Immunocal on your personalized Immunotech website for a retail price of $100. Since your consultant discounted price is $70, you've just earned $30 retail profit. So, to get your personal Immunocal order free each month, what you need is to have 2 customers just like Sarah, who also purchase a box of Immunocal from you. And voila, your retail profits have just paid for your personal product, with additional cash in your pocket. Even better, Immunotech offers a monthly program that ensures your people will never run out of their favorite products. Plus, those who participate in this program receive a 25% discount while you continue to earn 5% on their scheduled orders. And there's more. Customers who maintain their auto-ship order for 3 consecutive months are eligible to receive free product. This helps keep commissions coming in consistently. In addition to retail or wholesale profit, you can also earn an ongoing customer bonus. This amount is based on the number of buying customers and their total sales volume they spend each month. Based on those 2 amounts, you can earn up to 20% of the sales volume generated by your customers as a bonus. As an example, when you have 6 customers who each purchase Immunotech products, you would earn roughly $130 from the 10% customer bonus and the 5% wholesale profit. Naturally, as your customers fall in love with the results they get from Immunotech's products, they will want to know how to get their monthly order for free and maybe even earn some additional income. Keep in mind, your best consultants started as customers. You will then become eligible to earn ongoing retail commissions from the sales of your team members. This means you now benefit on the efforts of others. And retail commissions pay up to 10% of the commissionable volume in a given month. Commissionable volume, CV, is the assigned dollar amount used to calculate earnings, which means a significant ongoing income. Think of this as the power of 3. When you join Immunotech with a 2000 PV starter pack, you become a venture consultant. Next, when you sponsor 3 people who are interested in sharing Immunotech, who each purchase a 2000 PV starter pack like you did, you achieve the level of silver consultant. And by enrolling these 3 people, you now qualify for our amazing Business Builder bonus. This rewards you based on the number of new consultants you personally sponsor in a month. For example, when you personally sponsor 3 people in a calendar month, Adam, Barbara, and Carl, you get 20% of their commissionable volume, which is approximately $300. Add that to the 5% you already earned on your retail commissions, and you have now recouped your startup costs and have earned $380 in retail commissions and the Business Builder bonus. And this is on top of everything else you have already earned. But the bonuses don't stop here. As your Immunotech organization continues to grow, you will achieve higher performance levels that we refer to as ranks. These rank bonuses range from $200 to over $100,000, depending on the rank you achieve and the time it takes you to reach it. For example, maintaining your silver rank qualifications for a second month, you receive a $200 moving up bonus. When you maintain it for a third time in your first 90 days, you get an additional $200 in an accelerated moving up bonus. Plus, you will continue to earn ongoing customer bonuses and retail commissions each month. And for those of you who are motivated to earn even greater financial rewards in your first 60 to 90 days, when you achieve the next level of gold, for example, your monthly income and accumulated bonuses could increase to over $2,500. Beyond that, as you help your team members grow and duplicate your achievements, You'll also be rewarded with upline moving up bonuses. These payouts range from $250 to $35,000. As a leader, when you apply yourself and duplicate these achievements within your organization, there are additional rewards at leadership levels you can look forward to. Increased commission payouts, cash pools, and travel incentives are built into the design. This is an exceptionally generous compensation plan. We want you to enjoy your hard-earned success, and these additional incentives reward you for doing just that. So what are you waiting for? Now that you are ready to take action, you'll find there are phenomenal tools to support your success. Your enroller will show you how to get started by ordering your sign-up kit, choosing a startup pack that matches your goals, and setting up your monthly order. Your ability to build and expand a sustainable business into a growing number of countries around the world will depend on your level of dedication and the power of your unlimited imagination. And remember, success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Join us and let Immunotech help you achieve both success and happiness.
Well, listen, let me wrap it up by sharing with you these 3 short slides. As a matter of fact, you need to know some of the possible reasons why people look at our compensation plan. For some people, it is a supplementary income. Others, it's a retirement income. For some, for children's education fund, and of course, long-term healthcare programs to make sure that when the time comes, so you need the financial support, you have that. But above all, being able to reach out and make somebody else's life better. That is the caring part of this business, where you can be charitable in so many ways. But to wrap this up, the first rank that they mentioned called venture, remember, they talk about the power of 3. So if this was you, in my case, when I started, just looking for that opportunity. And of course, I was fortunate enough to find 3 partners, and those 3 partners ended up finding 3 partners. We had 9 added to the list, and eventually the same thing continued. We had 27, and we had a total number of people about 39, and this can be yours. When that happens, in terms of building a long-term income on a monthly basis, assuming that you bought into this idea of staying healthy, using our product, each person consuming about $200 worth of product, we have accumulated, $7,800 worth of sales, and you can earn on average 5%. This earning is one of those permanent incomes that you can benefit from, and that is about $390. Now, when you look at this program called Silver, you do the same thing, but this will stretch to about 120 people in total in your organization. Again, here, when you have 7% payout to you, that is about $1,680. Okay, this is all example. And the final slide, this one here is what we call the gold rank. The gold gives you a little bit more than just the first 2. And these are all part-time structures. So again, you introduce 3 partners who find their 3 and find 3 and find 3. You can easily have about 363 people on your team simply using $200 worth of product. You make a sale about $72,600. On average, you get 7% of that, and that should give you about $5,000. So let me wrap up by saying that we have 6 ranks in our business. This is just 3, and most people do this very part-time. So you need to get back to the person who invited you, because right now, as you heard, we're doing business in 11 countries: Canada, United States, UK, Ireland, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, Colombia, Peru, Spain, and Ecuador. So I will close by simply telling you that my journey started in 1999. I did not start to be on the cover of a magazine. I was dissatisfied with my life, and fortunately, Immunotech came to my rescue. So I will close by saying, get back to the person who invited you to this particular Zoom, and they will give you more information on how to get started. For me personally, I am just excited about the future, It's been a good 22 years that I have not missed a check from Immunotech. So back to you, John.
Okay, thank you, Foster. Good job, everybody. Appreciate it. So hopefully for those of you who are new, you got an idea how the business works. And here's what I tell everybody. It's all computerized. So if you didn't understand it, just go talk to people, introduce them to our product and our business, and the company will calculate commissions and all of that for you. So don't let it confuse you. The most important thing today is finding out about our product and sharing our opportunity and our product with as many people as you possibly can, and the computer will take care of the rest. So having said that, moving along, I want to introduce Dr. Nancy Cellini. A couple of things about Dr. Cellini. She's a lifelong athlete. She's a black belt in karate. She's also been a cyclist and a yogi for many years, been involved with sustainable foods for over 45 years. She's a doctor of public health. She's done research on many different health topics with many large companies, been involved also as a professor of health economics at the New York Medical College. And also last year, she actually fell off her bicycle and became a polytrauma victim as a result, and founded Immunocal, helped her to speed back to recovery, and she's going full tilt with her regular business and also building an Immunotech business in her part-time hours when she's not working out or dealing with her granddaughter who has track shoes on every time that I see her. So having said that, I'll turn the call over to Dr. Cellini, and she's going to also introduce our special guest, Mr. John Molson. So Nancy, to you.
Hey, thank you, John, and good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And thank you for that lovely introduction. I am really privileged to get to do this short version of a talk that John Molson and I have done together again. As a matter of fact, we have done a number of, I think, really interesting health talks, some on this network and some on others, because we want to continue to spread the message not only of how vital Immunocal is to all of us as, let's just say, day-to-day living human beings, but how vitally important it is to those of us who want to stay healthy and want to keep doing the things that we love. So I'm going to share my screen, and I hope that everybody can see these slides and can still see me as well, and John Molson as I introduce him very shortly. So does that work, Mr. Hooper? Can you still see me?
We can still see you, Nancy.
Okay, great. I know there was some feedback from another session we did where the speakers were not visible, so I just want to make sure you can see us. All right, so this session today, I'm going to really preface this by saying this is the story of, as we age, the good stuff that our bodies do very naturally, very organically for us, declines. And the bad stuff that our bodies do increases. So when I approach any topic, I'm really looking at this state of us as human beings, always seeking a state of homeostasis, which means balance. And today we're going to talk to you, John and I together, about the things that can throw you off and create an imbalance in the body. And actually, as a yoga therapist, that is my beloved work that I help people to do, is to recognize some of those imbalances and bring them into a state of balance. So today, John and I are going to take you through a short talk, short version. And again, John Solider has already introduced me, so you know who I am and why I'm coming to this talk today. And again, I am just delighted to do this with John Molson, who himself is a lifelong athlete, proud dad of an NFL Green Bay player raised on Immunocal. And I thought the stories today were fascinating about those of you on Immunocal who encountered illness or distress in your life versus those who got on it as a result of an issue. And the result is we can be on Immunocal and maybe not give it the due it is deserving of until we have a health crisis in our life. And that was certainly my story. But John Molson is a co-founder of Immunotech, 7th generation. descendant of the founder of the historic brewing and hockey family. He's vice president of R&D. He works side by side with Dr. Bonas, lead scientist and the discoverer of Immunocal. He's contributed so heartily and heavily to publications, patent applications, and he today is overseeing one of the most ambitious research projects, and that's looking at Immunocal in brain health. And you could say brain health is also an essential part of our overall health, because without it, we're really not going to get very far. And this is what we're here to do. We want to have a quick discussion about why Immunocal is so important in really seeking the best versions of ourselves. So I'll start, John, with just saying our bodies have a natural antioxidant. We have lots of it as we're young. We have lots of ability. Those of you have heard the term ROS, reactive oxygen species, and the ability to do redox signaling. You know, we possess the abilities to balance those things out greatly as we're young. As we get older, the effects of a lot of different variables in the environment, from stress, from disease, from overworking our bodies as athletes, super duper elite athletes, and that's what I will ask John to shed some light on. You know, the Tom Brady's of the world put their bodies through unbelievable rigors. And that's not necessarily the level of athleticism we're talking about for all of us today, but over exercise can actually cause this release of what are called free radicals. And a Dr. Gomberg, he was actually a chemistry professor back in the 1900s, actually discovered the idea of an organic free radical. So I'm going to say everything old is new again. We've known about reactive oxygen species. And basically, I want to give you all a metaphor. If there is a fire, let's say in your neighborhood, it may take a while until you smell something really noxious. And then you smell it and you go outside and you see the forest on fire. What are we all going to do? Hopefully we're going to call the fire department, right? That's the reaction that I like to give, or the analogy I like to give to some of my yoga clients about this buildup of reactive oxygen species, free radicals, heavy metals. John and I have done a series of health talks on this, about pollutants and the polluted world we live in, and some of those effects on the body. The whole purpose of what I want to bring this back to today in my fire analogy, right? Your redox signaling in your body is your messenger. That too declines as we age. We don't talk about this aspect of the science much, but it's really important. When our cell level is in trouble, we hope our bodies are healthy enough to let the rest of the cells know that. And the beauty of Immunocal is it improves that signaling, that call in the fire department. Hey, got a problem here in the gut, here in the bone, here in the head. That's what this amazing substance really does, is it brings us back to a better balance. So in summary, I'm going to say we can fight off viruses. It all goes back to the immune system and our immune health, but we are overly exposed to toxins in our environment. John and I have done that talk together before. And again, as I said at the beginning, our bodies produce lots of good stuff when we're young. The good stuff goes like this. The bad stuff as we age goes like this. So our natural ability to fight off these effects gets diminished. And we know about glutathione, we know about Immunocal's amazing properties as that master antioxidant. We saw that clip from Dr. Gutman, and I love his acronym for that, of antioxidant immune detoxification. So I want to bring up John Molson now and get John Molson to talk to all of us about this aspect of health in the demands of physical performance, but also, John, I'm going to ask you to make it like accessible for everybody. So let's talk about someone like a Tom Brady, and then let's talk about a Nancy Cellini, who did indeed I was not falling off my bicycle. I was in a horrific accident. Why is this so critically important to all of us as we explore this topic today? And as part of this, and I love the social selling that was brought out today in telling your stories and sharing your stories. Why is it important to really talk to those athletes we all know, the non-quitters who are not giving up and maybe over the age of, I'm going to politely say 50 something? Why should we be talking to them about Immunocal? So welcome, John Molson.
Hi, Nancy.
How are you?
An honor to speak with you. It's you're so passionate about this. It's I feel like I'm talking to a kindred spirit.
Me too.
You know, if you look at the literature on the masters athlete, and when we talk about masters athlete, that can have a very broad definition to someone who competes on a weekend basis, someone who, you know, enjoys playing golf, someone enjoys playing tennis, so being active. The ceiling really for the masters athlete is their capacity to train. And as you know, different physiological systems in our bodies are blunted during the course of the aging process. So if by taking Immunocal, based on the studies we've done in the elderly athletes, where we showed an increase in a model of resistance exercise, an increase of performance of about 10%, and then in a model of aerobic exercise, while younger athletes, we showed an increase of around an average of 13.5%. You know, because when you talk about performance, you have to think in increments. And if in the masters athlete, we can improve the capacity to train by even 2 to 3% on a year-to-year basis, that is really meaningful in terms of their performance, their, you know, their absolute performance, their muscle strength, their capacity to recover, etc. So that's, you know, when we talk about healthy aging and maintaining these things during the aging process, that's very, very important. For the elite athlete, it's primordial because they're making their living based on their performance. And so working with groups like Oracle that study the blood of these athletes and look at antioxidant capacity and the effect of low antioxidant capacity on the risk of illness and injury, that's really, again, you know, is really interesting information for us, because when we talk about antioxidant capacity, you know, the critical antioxidant system in the body is glutathione, and every mammalian possesses the glutathione antioxidant system. So if you have a mechanism by which you can impact the glutathione antioxidant system, that's a huge lever in terms of maximizing your performance. So that's why Oracle is so interested in this, and why Oracle is working with elite teams across the sports spectrum, looking at their capacity and counseling them to take Immunocal and to, you know, pay attention to their antioxidant capacity.
Fascinating. So now let's take that a little, let's take it down a few notches. So we've got these elite athletes and maybe working with Oracle to get it all right. What about the everyday athlete, John? You know, as someone who wants to continue to go hiking, you know, 10 or 12 miles every weekend with their friends, or someone who wants to go out on the ocean and row. Not me. I'll stay in the bathtub doing that. That's a little scary. But, you know, anyone who wants to continue to be an avid cyclist, you know, you hit that age of 50 something. And I think we've all had maybe some of this reaction. I haven't, because I've been on Immunocal a very long time myself. But in speaking to other aging people who are still diehard athletes who never quit, you know, some of the first symptomology is maybe, oh God, I'm so sore. Never been sore before. You know, what is the most important relevant finding for that type of person that someone in our network might be talking to? Hey, you know, I love to go hiking, but I'm too sore afterwards. My knees hurt. You know, my ankles hurt. My back hurts. What's the messaging around that for the everyday kind of person. What do you think?
You know, I keep thinking of ways to explain the importance of this. And one of the things that you see over and over again, and Tom Brady is the perfect example of this, the biggest sin a pro athlete can make is to think that they've made it. You know, why does Tom Brady, after winning X number of Super Bowls, still go out, get his receivers there to, you know, hone his passing skills, hone the timing and so forth? Because in his head, he's never made it. And I think, you know, that to a certain extent, many of us walk around thinking that we've made it, that our health is fine. But when you dig deeper, and this really came to me when I started working with Dr. Brunos, and he explained to me, you know, that many of these problems that arrive in our, you know, fifth, sixth decade of life start decades earlier. So you can never assume that you've made it, because many of the things that are transpiring, we can't feel, and we don't appreciate, you know, what we're exposed to. And this old saying of, you know, in genes load the gun, environment pulls the trigger. We're walking around, you know, in a very dynamic environment, and you can never assume that you're home free, that everything is okay, and that because you feel great today, you're going to feel great tomorrow. So you always have to take this proactive attitude, especially as we know after the fourth decade of life. As you know, Dr. Droog, who worked as the chief science officer, was an expert, one of the world experts in aging and physiology. And after the fourth decade of life, we've become more vulnerable to these things. And so taking Immunocal is really a proactive approach in terms of helping us maintain healthy aging vis-a-vis our heart, our brain, our muscles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's a really good point, John, is that, you know, it may not be, and maybe that's not really the focus of how do I continue to be an avid cyclist after such and such an age, but rather, how do you continue to keep your body in that balanced state? How do you balance out the exposure to free radicals that we all have? And some of those free radicals, as we know, are reactive or oxidative. And if you want an example of oxidation, look at rust, right? You've heard me often say, I'm using my body up rather than let it rust away. There's another little bit of an analogy. But I think the conversation maybe starts with an athlete. And I'll give you an example of the men's hiking club that you recently addressed. You really turn them on their ear, not so much about being able to hike, but about the health benefits of taking Immunocal. And I'm proud to tell you, I have about a third of them on the product. And the reaction to this, and I'm interested in how you would respond. I get phone calls from some of them that say, I still don't believe this stuff really works. But today I hiked and the rest of the group was behind me. That's never happened before. I was in my car and home before the guys who weren't or who are not on this product even finished the hike. So what do you say to someone like that? How do you package that around, yes, this concept of they want to keep being athletic? And most of these men are above age 60. I'm going to tell you they're between 60 and 70 years old. So how do you bring that back into the conversation? What's the proof?
As I've said many times, one of the most incredible aspects of my job is the spectrum that I have been permitted to work with over the course of 20 years. And that goes from studying the stage 4 cancer patient all the way to the Olympic athlete. And what you've said, I've heard from a stage 4 cancer patient. We've measured it in a stage 4 cancer patient. I've heard it from the Olympic athlete. I've heard it from my friend who was world champion in the Olympic triathlon distance. So, you know, this has been repeated over and over and over again. And it's borne out by our research that we've done, the 2 different clinical studies we've published. and why we got the performance claim from Health Canada. So this is not an accidental finding, and it's not by accident. Now, that being said, when you're dealing with a population, as you know, everybody is different. So sometimes the magnitude of the result is going to be greater in some people than others. But, you know, I would say on the whole, this is what we see across the spectrum in terms of, you know, quality of life, feeling more energy, being able to do more. And that's really what it's all about. You know, whether it's doing more with your grandkids, doing more with your friends on the tennis court, doing more on the golf course, you know, competing at a high level in a master cycling or swimming, that's really one of the most important aspects of life.
Absolutely, John. You and I concur on this. And I can tell you one of the most rewarding things as a yoga therapist is working with seniors who have given up, you know, and some of them were athletes. Some of them were great athletes before a disease took that away from them. And when I don't think the rest of the world realizes the seriousness of the consequence of someone not being able to get up and down from a chair. If you can't get up and down from a chair, your life basically stops. Think about that. If every time you have to get up from a seated position, you need someone to help you do that, it's devastating. And I've seen the difference in applying yoga as a therapeutic tool to helping someone regain that. What I'd like to see more of is someone with that tool and the benefits of Immunocal. And that's the study that I'd like to personally see. And if I win the lottery, I'll be funding that, because that 10% turns out to be life-giving and life-saving. And thank you for taking us back to the cancer research, because for those of you listening today, and I'm going to wrap up with just reminding you, we're kind of always back to the future. Moses Gomberg, 1900, discovery of the free radical, to current day, look at what cancer has learned about free radicals, reactive oxygen species, and redox signaling. If you want to really understand how this product helps to heal at the mitochondrial level, do a little reading in the research body of evidence around cancer. That's been around now for several decades. And thank you to Dr. Bunos, and you were so fortunate to work with him. And thank you to you, John, for continuing to be one of the biggest health advocates I know, one of the best personal coaches in the world, and good friend and wonderful mind. Please keep up your great work. I hope this was helpful to people and have given them another part of the conversation to have. So I'll close by thanking you, and I'll let you close with any final thoughts before we turn it back to John.
Thank you. And if anybody has any questions from today's talk, they can email me at jmolson, MOLSON, @immunotech.com. I'm happy to respond and pass on what Dr. Bunos taught me over the years. Thank you, Nancy.
Thanks, John. Be well. Thank you, everyone. Back to you, John.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you, Nancy. And John, one quick question. If you can just tell a little bit more about Orico, because we have a lot of new people on today, and I'd love them to understand the significance of having a company like that working with a product, and a company like ours, if you wouldn't mind elaborating on that a little bit more.
Yeah, so Orico is one of the top firms in the world that collaborates with NFL teams, Premier League teams, F1 racing, people on the PGA Tour, etc. What they do is they help the athlete understand what their parameters are. Just like, you know, if you think about an engine operates within a certain tolerance zone, ideally. If you get outside those zones, you can break the engine. The athlete is the same way. So ideally, what you want to have is the athlete operating within a certain zone. That can be a master's athlete, that can be an Olympic athlete. If you go outside that zone too long, you can burn the athlete. In other words, burn them out. You can get them sick, injured, etc. And so when they do this physiological testing over the course of the year, part of the intervention program is giving these athletes Immunocal to stabilize that antioxidant value. And so it's a tool that's used, as I say, by many teams. And we've been collaborating with them for over 10 years now. Their lead scientist is on our Scientific Advisory Board. So we've learned so much from them, because much of what we've seen in our clinical research is borne out in the real world with Olympic athletes taking our product and getting feedback through them.
Great. Well, thank you. And you know, it just shows once again how amazing this product is, and how we all, you know, if you're here today and you're not part of Immunotech yet, we hope you are. Whether you join our business or not, we hope you do. But we certainly all want you to take our product, because what John just shared there tells you what world-class and Olympic athletes who have any choice in the world. I won't use names, but I mean, if you think of the NBA elite, for example, some of the older athletes that make literally hundreds of millions of dollars between endorsements and their NBA contracts, that choose to use Immunical as a choice, product of choice, just like you and I can make to take it as a product of choice. I mean, just think about that for a second, the level of athletes that you're talking about, and the fact that, once again, they have the ability and the knowledge to take anything. They're choosing Immunical, and Orico is helping us to do that. So once again, thanks to Orico and Dr. Lewis and John. You, as always, are amazing. And Nancy, great job as always. So moving along, we've got another two amazing people. So stick around. I know after the medical stuff, a lot of people say, okay, I heard what I need to hear and I'm off. Hey, don't miss these last two speakers today, folks, because they are incredible people, incredibly successful at what they do. And they've got a message for you that you're going to want to listen to. So stick around here. We'll be about 30 minutes more and we'll wrap up for this month's show. So I want to turn the call over to a young lady that I've had the privilege of knowing the last few years. I'll tell you a little bit about her. She's an author. Authored a number of books on leadership development. She's the CEO of her own company, female-run company, by the way, ladies. Again, we're illustrating the strength of women today. Keep in mind, the leadership and network marketing, 82% are represented by women. So want to make that point. But this young lady is the CEO of her own company. She is an Air Force graduate, United States Air Force. I mean, just to get into the United States Air Force Academy is something else. And she graduated and served the United States. So thank you for your service, Dr. Jones. And she is a leadership expert. She's actually got a PhD in leadership, and she's going to share some things on leadership today. And she's also put together a special package for all of us as well. So let me turn the call over to my dear friend, Dr. Tracy Jones. Welcome, Tracy.
Hello, everyone. It is an absolute joy to be here. And this is, I think, my third or fourth call with you all. And I got to do a book discussion with you all. And I feel like I'm one of you all. And my husband is now using the product too. So I love the welcoming, being in this group. And thanks so much. Getting to see familiar faces, Hyacinth and Tom and Dean and everybody. So it's great to be here. And I have so enjoyed listening to the videos, Dr. Molson talking about what's going on with the product. But I want to talk to you in just the brief minutes that we have today about, as John said, leadership, which is my love. And leadership is so important, but it's slightly different than being a leader. And I just want to give you, in the time we have together, 3 takeaways to help you unpack what is going on inside of the head of the other person that you are sharing this product with, because you get it. You're all on board. I've heard phenomenal stories. I don't see how anybody cannot want to take it. And so you all are leaders. You are sold on the product. I've heard Patricia's, I've heard Aveline's, I've heard about the Olympic athletes. You're all in. You are leading your health. But leadership is a very different animal. Leadership is when you're not just leading yourself, but you're going out to change other people's behaviors. And that is what sharing the product is and growing your team is. So if leadership is about changing people's behaviors, and to be a really successful leader at leadership, you have to be good at it. Why is it so darn hard? Okay. Why is getting the word out about claiming your health, reclaiming your health, getting healthy, staying healthy? The body's a temple, and everybody will say you can have everything in the world, and if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Why is that such a tough sell? And I want to share a couple things about what's going on in somebody's head when you're talking to them about this. My father, Charlie Tremendous Jones, he was a life insurance salesman, just unparalleled. And whenever he would meet with somebody about selling life insurance is important, right? Because one thing's for sure, Okay, my health may be here today, but may be gone tomorrow, or I may stay healthy the rest of my life. But one thing's for sure, are death and taxes, that is for sure. Okay. And he would explain the whole life insurance policy, and he would be so excited. He would about to leap out of his chair, and he'd hand them the pen, sure they were going to sign on the dotted line. And they would sit back and look at him and say, Charlie, I think I need to think about it. Or let me check with my wife. Or I'm just not sure this pertains to me. What? And and I can remember him telling me, Tracy, it's just so hard to understand people's behaviors and why they change them. So I have typed over in the chat room. I just want to take my first point for you is that you've heard of a term called cognitive dissonance. And that means it's called the pleasure or pain principle. And in leadership, what that means is typically you will change your behavior only when one of two things happens. Something gives you so much pain that you can't take it anymore, or something is so attractive and gives you so much pleasure that you just want it more than anything in the world. But there's an article I put over there called Fast Company, Change or Die. And it's a book that came out back in 2005. And I would love to see the research updated, but it's by a gentleman by the name of Alan Deutschman. And I don't say this to scare you or depress you, but I just want you to understand, never stop seeding the health message in people's heads. Because what this article says is, it's called Change or Die. And what it says is that a relatively small percentage of the population consumes the vast majority of the healthcare budget. Now, this study was done in America, and you all have heard of the 80-20 principle, the Pareto principle. And basically what the research said, the longitudinal study was that 20% of the population consumed 80% of the healthcare costs. And not only that, it wasn't due to hereditary or genetic markers or precursors, but due to lifestyle illnesses, sedentary lifestyle, too much stress, not active, overeating, drugs, drinking, smoking. Isn't that crazy? Okay. So when you look at this study, we're slowly killing ourselves. So they did a study, and these were people that had heart disease and they needed a bypass surgery, and they were given a choice. You have to change your unhealthy ways or you may die. And guess, out of 9 people, guess how many, just put in the chat, how many out of 9 you think said, you know what, this crisis, you've scared me back to life, I'm going to change. Any guess? Out of 9, how many did it? Any guess? Okay, we got a 2. Okay, all 9, 8, okay. 0, Keith, I love Keith. 7, excellent, okay, I love it. Well, if you read the article, the answer is 1. Okay, so and now this is back in 2006, so who knows what it is now, but I don't suspect that it went up. So let me tell you something. When you're dealing with people's behaviors, even something like pain, which is a huge motivator, okay, may not get them off dead center. And we're gonna unpack that in the brief time we have together. Even a crisis like you're gonna die might not change their behavior. So just understand that. And I say that to you because I never want you to stop seeding their thoughts about their health. And I want you to keep moving on to find that 1 out of 9 that is going to be open to receive your message, that they can receive their health. You know, there's an old verse in the Bible in Proverbs, don't cast your pearls among swine. Okay. So you really want to find 1 out of 9 would be great. If 1 out of the 9 people on this planet took Immunical, the world would be a much healthier place. So never stop seeding that. Now, what is it about people that we just can't get it through our heads to do this? And my father told me this. He said, Tracy, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But you can put salt in his oats and make him thirsty. Okay. So how do we, as leaders engaging in leadership, how do we put salt in the oats of people to gradually pull them in? And there's one of 2 ways that people are going to respond and buy your product. You are going to offer them one of 2 things. You're either going to offer them a solution or you're going to offer them a feeling. Okay, so I listened to Patricia and Aveline today saying, I had a problem, I needed a solution. I like those ladies, okay? They're thinkers. If you're on the Myers-Briggs profile, you're a T, okay? Or you're a high D. You got a problem, you need a solution, give me that Immunical. Right now I'm taking it and I'm starting it. Okay, that is going to respond. The people are a certain portion of the population is going to respond to that. But the vast majority is going to be more in the feeling range. Okay. And that's what I call them. They're more your S's. They're more your people that are sensing in the Myers-Briggs if they're in a, so they're going to be looking for more of a feeling. Okay. Maybe the opportunity to still play with their grandkids in the future. Maybe the feeling that they can hike or play ball like they used to in high school. So what you want to do when you're talking to somebody, you really want to unpack, and you'll understand after talking to them, are they solutions oriented, or does what trigger them or spark them to try your product? Is it going to be more of a sensing and a feeling thing? And typically in this change or die, the hard sell of you're going to die obviously did not work on these people because only 1 in 9 changed. Okay. But if you play on people's senses and emotions and feelings, you are much more likely to get that. So when you talk to somebody about the product, ask them and say, hey, what are you really looking for? Okay. And try to break that down. The last thing that I want to share with you are, as far as building a business, when you get somebody on the team, there's 2 things that they are going to need to do before they really become all in and start doing what Foster. You get the 3, they get the 3, they get the 3. Okay. 2 things. And you're going to have to sit down with them to get them from going to be a user to actually a team cultivator and a grower. Okay. Now I'm a user of many products. I'm a user of your product. Okay. But to get me or somebody else to the point where we actually want to be all in and grow the business, even on a part-time business, that's going to take them taking the next step. Okay. So there's 2 things that they have to really see. Number 1, they have to see value in the product and value in becoming more engaged in the product. Now they already are a user. They already love it. They've already had their lives transform. So this should be the easy part of it. The second part is they have to have a reasonable expectation of success. If you want to bring them in to build the business, they don't want to disappoint you and not be able to build the business. So this is where you really unpack with them. What do you need? I'm here to advocate for you. I'm here to be a resource for you. I'm here to help you give the tools for training. What do you need? And typically when you ask them that, you're going to hear them tip like a fear or a concern. I may not have enough time. Foster, I don't want to let you down. I don't want to alienate my friends and family. And these are all fears that the sooner they unpack, you can help them shed a light on them. And the beauty of fear is once you put light on it, it evaporates. But as long as this is still in their minds, they can't really go all in to become an integral part of the team. So it's really good to unpack what's going on in the back of their mind so you can tell them, what do they need? And I'm here to support you. And each of your team members is going to be very different as far as what they need from you as a leader in the organization to bring out the best in them. Okay, so you'll trigger different things. And then lastly, I want to share one thing, as Foster always says, okay, if you get somebody and you say to them, hey, what would prevent you from being all in? And they look at you and they go, I don't know. I love Foster's opinion on this. Don't waste your time with them. Okay. Because if they can't articulate at least what's holding them back, they're purely not even at the place where you can even begin to have a great dialogue about unpacking it. If I don't even know what to help, if they haven't even identified it, they're not really even at the point where they're very serious about it. And that doesn't mean you cast them away forever. It just means for right now, let's move on, maybe check back in with them from time to time, because like you said, situations change. Maybe some people are slow processors and all of a sudden they think about it for a couple months and they'll come back to you. You've all had that happen. Okay. So just the 3 things I want you to remember is we are really hard-headed as a creation from God. I mean, what is wrong with us? Just understand that. So give people time and don't be upset if people don't understand that one of the greatest gifts of all, health, is within their power. I tell people, you know what, folks, there's no such thing as leadership, only ownership. And until that other person is willing and ready and able to own their own health, forget about it. Okay. Number two, remember, people buy for one of two reasons. You are offering them a solution or you are offering them a feeling. Find out what is going to appeal to them and ignite them to come on in. And lastly, they're going to join the team when one or two things happen. They see value in it. Number two, they have a reasonable expectation that they're going to be successful. And I hope you guys got a couple little good nuggets as you're talking to that other person. And I know you sit there and you're like, why can't they see it? Why can't they see it? I hope this unpacks a little bit about what's going on in their mind and how you can put salt in their oats and get them all in. Thank you, guys.
Tracy, thanks so much. And leadership is ownership. I love that.
Yes, sir, it is. I mean, I can't make you do anything at all, but leadership is really ownership. Thank you, John.
And Keith, I think we have something special to share from Tracy's company.
Yeah, we've got a special and it's up on xyztools.com. So if you go there right now or after this event, obviously, you'll be able to see that. So it's a special offer, John. Sorry about that. Anyway, we've got it up there. There's the link, and it's up on xyztools.com. And there's two links, one for the English package and one for the Spanish package. So everybody can just grab over there after this event. Once again, it's up on xyztools.com, and the links are right there, John.
Great. Well, thanks so much. Thank you, Dr. Tracy. And our last speaker today, and then Keith and I have a couple of housekeeping things to share, as always, is a young man that I met. I lost my screen for a second, but that's okay, as long as you guys can hear me. Keith, tell me that you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. I don't know what's happening with my screen here, but I met this gentleman many, many years ago in the United Kingdom, and we kind of got reacquainted recently. And just tell you a little bit about Ron and who he is. And I wanted him to share a few minutes with us. He's a remarkable human being. He's actually written 28 books. Now, Tracy has authored many books. Foster and I have authored a book together and books separately. I don't know if anybody else on the line has ever authored a book or not, but I can tell you it's a labor of love. And it is something you have to be extremely disciplined to do. This gentleman has produced 28 books. Here's a few of them. $1 Million Payday, Talk and Grow Rich, Debt Free with Financial Kung Fu, Turbo Success, The 22 Immutable Laws of Network Marketing, and The Millionaire Within, to say the least. He's been featured on the cover of magazines on coaching, on success, on entrepreneurship, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I want to introduce now a new name to Immunotech. His name is Ron Holland like the country. Ron, welcome to the call all the way from the United Kingdom. And oh, by the way, Ron is not only going to speak to us a little bit today about marketing, but Ron also is now a user of our Immunocal product and getting some great benefit from it. So Ron, welcome to the call.
Thank you for that lovely introduction, John. And I would like to say to everybody that absolutely I am on the product and it's fantastic. And particularly from my situation, I am 71 years old, and about 18 months ago, I got hit with very serious mouth and throat cancer, and I nearly died. And now with Immunotech, that is the only thing I take. I am not taking any of the multiple medicines they have given me. And the truth is, I feel fantastic, and I am now making a comeback, and I couldn't do it without the product. So it is really good, and of course, I not only use it, but I recommend it to people as well. So today, I'm a specialist in right and left brain thinking, and I want to talk briefly about communication skills. And in our industry, we're into teaching, training, sharing, and education. And you need to be a good communicator. And my book, one of them, I wrote 40 years ago, this year, 40 years, and it was called Talk and Grow Rich. And in there, I talk about creating rapport with people and how much of that rapport is absolutely instantaneous. It's at an unconscious level and people don't realize it. And I'll give you some examples. I'm a biker, and I still am, big time. And I remember once I rocked up at a business meeting, and normally I am in a three-piece suit, but this time I rocked up in my leather gear, and I was like an outsider to these people. There was no rapport at all. And the opposite thing happened. I turned up at a bikers event in my three-piece suit, and I didn't fit at all. No rapport. So much of the rapport that I'm going to be talking about is at an unconscious level. So when I meet somebody, maybe for a lunch meeting, and they order a salad, I will order a salad as well. They say to the waitress, I want an OJ. I will have an OJ as well. Now they won't be realizing I'm mirroring them, I'm copying them. I'm entering their inner world. And I think that is very, very important. If they may start talking about baseball, and I want to talk about fishing and shooting, immediately I've lost that rapport with them. For me to enter the inner world, I need to talk about baseball as well. So getting that rapport with people is crucial. If they talk quickly, I talk quickly. Some people talk very softly and slowly, and I will become like them. I will say so, talking slowly and softly. I will enter their inner world. Now, where I am leading with all of this is because I specialize in right and left brain thinking. For the last 2,000 years in the Western world, education has been predominantly a left brain activity. Teacher stands outside the front of the classroom talking. That is the educational process. All the books you get are full of words. Thousands of libraries all over the world filled up with millions and millions and millions of books, not a picture in them. It's a left brain. Education's been a left brain thing for 2,000 years. But in the last 20 years, the younger generations are becoming predominantly right-brained because they're inadvertently educating themselves in pictures and graphics, and the language is getting pushed further and further out the way. So if you've got a network where the average age of is 56 or 58 or 60, I'm 71, talking to the younger generations is like Chinese and English. We do not communicate because they are not thinking like us for a single minute. The differences are incredible. When a young person goes to the shop and buys some flat pack furniture, they get it home, it might be a bed or a wardrobe or a cabinet. They rip it open, they get out the instructions, they will not read the instructions. They look at the images of how the thing comes together, they assimilate that in a fraction of a second, quicker than you and me reading, put the screw in, put the leg on here. They've assimilated that in a fraction of a second, and they've assembled this thing much quicker than you and me. Their brains are working, as Bill Gates used to put it, business at the speed of thought. That was his book. And what's happening now, these younger generations, business at the speed of thought. When you're talking to them, communicating with them, they're inadvertently transmuting the words that you're telling them about anything into pictures. And ever so quickly, they get way ahead of you because you're still talking, but they've already converted it to complete pictures. And they say a picture is worth 1,000,000 words. And we're trying to communicate with people and engage them in what we're doing, but they're using a different language. And everything is concise these days. Very, very few words, but lots and lots of pictures. And Twitter is just such a brilliant example of that. It's billions and billions of tweets going out every day, and people get it in one. 140 characters says everything. Even the president or the ex-president, love him or hate him, Donald Trump used Twitter as his #1 communication. 140 characters, gets an incredible message out there. So my message today in communicating with the younger generations is we've got to cut down on the verbal dialogue if we're going to tap in to this massive, hungry marketplace who appear to us lot to speak Chinese, but they don't. They've got a language of their own, and it's picture oriented, not word oriented. So young people these days don't write long love letters like I used to write 50 years ago, 60 years ago as a young man. If they want to send a love message to a girl, they send a little emoji of a heart. If they really love her, they'll send 3 hearts, right? Everything is concise, and it's totally alien to the way we're thinking. We can engage much more. I run an IT company and I've got young people, and if I want to communicate with them, it's much better just send them an abbreviated text. They've got it in one, or an email, but they don't want a long conversation. They're not in that space. So when we're promoting our products and our business opportunity, try and cut down the words and use pictures and diagrams and infographics, and the way they're thinking, they'll quickly get ahead of where you are. And they've got so many ways of reaching out to thousands of people cost effectively, not like in my day, back in the day, we'd rent a hotel room, try to get people there, encourage people to come. Maybe you'd have a no-show, you'd still have to pay the hotel bill. You don't do that with these platforms these young people are doing. No, sir. And they've got such reach to any country in the world, and we need to be embracing that. They're very bad listeners, but they're very good viewers. You give them an infographic or a diagram or something like that, an image, they'll get it very, very quickly. And finally, I want to say, how do I know this? Obviously, I'm a marketing guy. You do marketing on Facebook. It is a powerful, powerful platform. But all you've got to do is focus on the picture in your advert. The words account for 7 or 8% of your success. You've got to get that image right and draw people in. The words are secondary, and you need to learn that. I'm from old school, right, talk and grow rich, talking, rapport building. That was the way back then. But believe me, that's last century's technology. And if we're going to hit that hungry marketplace of younger people, we've got to do something different. And maybe they're not good listeners, but we need to start listening to them and embracing their magic, their technology, and their right brains. I think, John, if that's okay with you, I'd like to wrap up there. I've obviously got lots more to say, but I think I've had my fair shot tonight. So I'd like to thank everybody here, and particularly the company for giving me the product to give me my energy back and help me with my comeback.
I love it. I love it. I love it, Ron. That is exactly it. Great message. And that right brain, left brain, folks, is something. When Ron and I started speaking about this a month, 2 months, whatever it is ago, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I have a 17-year-old son. When he sends me something, it's a meme. He doesn't send me words. He sends me a meme. And a meme, I guess I could say this, Ron and Tracy, as our two marketing people that joined us here at the end, a meme can say 1,000 words, so to speak, and that is absolutely right. When I look at how not only my son, but some of the kids that, I coach a little bit athletically, that's how they communicate. It's no long words. I don't know what a love letter looks like today with young people. I can only imagine it's, like you say, hearts and pictures and all that sort of stuff. More importantly, there's a reason why I wanted Ron to share that with you all is, we're generally a little bit older group for the most part that are on these calls, right? 40 plus. We have to think about that. Foster shared some great videos that Immunotech's done, but the shorter the message, but the more impactful the message is how young people's brains are now working because of the technology that exists today. So just keep this in mind as we go down the road. And most of you know this, you have teenagers or young people or grandkids, and you know what I'm saying. So great. Thank you so much, Ron. And I'm a big fan of Ron's, by the way. I've got you can't see with my backdrop here, but I've got 3 of Ron's books that I'm reading right now. And he is really a thought provocateur, I call him. So thank you, Ron, and continue good luck with the product, most importantly. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, John. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Foster. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Aveline. Thank you, Keith Hooper. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. One thing I want to point out, you'll see my backdrop, Leaving Nothing to Chance, the name of my podcast, which comes up every Tuesday. Most of you have been listening to it. We're now up to date. All the archives are up to date. So if you enjoyed Dr. Jones today, for example, Dr. Jones, if you look at Tremendous Tracy, okay, in our Leaving Nothing to Chance podcast, there's our much longer interview and a lot more of her words of wisdom there, about 50 or so minutes worth of that. Ron, I've already interviewed. He's going to be up. I think it's May 24th that Ron's interview will be up. And you've got all the other interviews of everyone that I've interviewed so far, including Foster, Patricia, Rolando Marino from Mexico, Larry Thompson, Taylor Thompson, Simon Brooks, Fraser Brooks, the top social social media expert in the world now. Fraser Brooks interviewed him. Known him since he's been 2 days old, believe it or not, which tells you that I am getting old. But anyway, a lot of data there as well. So these are all tools that you can use. So once again, thank you for being here today. Keith, I'll let you have the last word, my friend.
But, you know, John, as I'm listening to Tracy and I'm listening to Ron and, you know, Nancy and John and, you know, and to Aveline and Patricia and Foster, you know, all the things was there. But I thought it was interesting when you take the concepts from Tracy and from Ron. You know, I always make a statement. You don't have to take Immunotech. Okay, you're just going to die prematurely. And by the way, it's going to be a very painful experience. But I'm changing it now. You don't have to take Immunocal. I'll dance on your grave. So anyway, if you know, and as Foster knows, people don't like me a lot. So they probably don't want me to do that, Tracy. You want to join us back, and I got a couple more things with Tracy. So
anyway,
I mean, Tracy, we got to communicate with people. And we got to communicate that where they're at, like you and Ron were talking about. It's just so important.
Well, yeah, like Ron said, and I love the right brain, left brain. My dad's era, you know, he would hit people on the head and say, "Why are you so stupid?" And they would break down, cry, and go, "You're right. Tough love is still love, but you have to be, that has to be your love language." My love language is tough love, but it's like the 5 love languages. Other people are going to respond to different triggers. So it's knowing how to salt them and bring them out. So, hey, Keith, dancing on the grave may do it for some people. You just got to know your audience. You know what I'm saying?
You got to know your audience. And like I say, it's easy for people not to like me. So the last thing they want me to do is dance on their grave. So they need to get out of here.
That makes sense.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Before we get into more trouble, we're going to go here today. We appreciate you all very much. We'll be looking at doing another one of these Zoom tacklers. Get over to XYZ Tools. The links are there for the book offering with that Tracy's put together. Incredible offer. Take advantage of that, both English and Spanish. We got to get Tracy and Ron hooked up to get some of those books over here in the U.S. So we appreciate you all very much. And Dr. Nancy, thank you so much for what you're doing there. Great to see that you're now part of the group of what Dr. Bunos talks about. It takes 50 years to do a human study on longevity, and it's great to be a part of that test group. And so we appreciate all of you very much. Have a great Saturday, everyone, and we'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.
Thanks all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.